Gerwyn Price, congratulations, mate. I know you've got to do this whole media thing, and probably the first thing on your mind is, I've won now, I can go home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to do media when I've won. I don't mind. So, yeah, it's nice to finish the trip off with a win. So, yeah, it's a long flight home. It's an happy one. I think I've done well this last 3 weeks, and if I hadn't won today, it would have been a bit disappointing. But thankfully, I got over the winning line.
And yeah, and yeah, I mean, you've been the most successful player across the three tournaments. I'm not just saying because I'm talking to you. You've obviously made a final and probably or definitely missed out on an opportunity for the win on that in Townsville. We're all there for that. And then, yeah, came up against a James Wade who just did a James Wade thing. And then tonight you've got Johnny Clayton, you've won. So two finals, semi-final. You're the best player across the three tournaments. As much as I know the world number one wants to win all three tournaments, you got to take some pleasure out of that.
Yeah, I felt even going into today that I was the most consistent player over the 3 weeks, even though I hadn't picked up a title yet. It would have been very disappointing going home tomorrow on the plane if I'd lost this game. But it's a job well done now. I think, like you said, two finals, one win, and a semi-final. So yeah, a couple of big ranking events coming up, the rest of the year. So I'm looking forward to those.
Now, I'm pretty sure at halftime playing rugby, if you'd come out and turned it around like you did straight after the break, the first thing to be said is, what did the coach say at halftime? You're not like that. You could just literally have a break and then get back into the mindset. Is that all it was during the break this time?
Yeah, it's usually the other way around for me. I usually start off pretty well, go into a break, and then I'll come back out and I'm not the same player. But after the break today, I came out and I sort of found my A game or close to it and sort of blew Johnny away for 2 or 3 legs. I'm under a lot of pressure. Fair play to Johnny. He kept plugging away. He kept hitting some big scores. And finally, I started hitting some doubles towards the end of that game.
And I mean, you say that, but even in that first half of the match, you more kind of presented Johnny opportunities rather than the other way around. Your scoring was there, but obviously your doubles weren't there, and then Johnny would take it out. And eventually you did that to Johnny later in the match where you took a leg. You must have known that there was that opportunity to come back because you weren't that far away.
Exactly. I mean, I know the last even out in Townsville, or not Townsville, in Wollongong, when I lost to James, I had lots of opportunities and, the game out of my pocket. I knew in the beginning of this game that I was scoring well and just having opportunities. So that, I just went back at the break and thought, just scoring game a little bit, take my chances, and I'll come through the game. And yeah, that's probably what spurred me on.
Now, this might be set up a Jones talking to Gerwyn about Wales winning in New Zealand. However, we did see all the rugby stuff. I mean, yes, as much as you had fun in Australia, your career in another sport never got you to New Zealand. It must have been a buzz just to feel that, even on a day where the All Blacks win. And by the way, Australia beat South Africa, so don't worry about the Kiwis. But it must have been a buzz for you professionally and personally to be in such a rugby-loving nation and to be playing the game that you now love, darts, and winning.
I mean, I'm not too sure about coming to New Zealand, but I would have liked to have the rugby career when I played against them, whether it was in Wales or New Zealand. But I was fortunate in 2008 to play against New Zealand, but it was in Argentina, and yeah, we lost that one as well. But yes, it's nice to. I was invited 2 years ago. Obviously, COVID hit. But thankfully, I still had a bit of form and got invited again. So it was a trip that I've been long and waiting for. So yeah, I'm glad to come down and finally pick up a win before I go home.
Mate, congratulations. Thank you for all your support for darts in both Australia and New Zealand over the last 3 weeks. We know that we're going to see you here again very soon. Probably in the interim, we'll be able to announce you as a multiple-time world champion, hopefully. And we wish you all the best in your career, and we'll see you soon.
Boris, thank you very much. Cheers, buddy.